you from the heart of the Pacific. Brought to you by Paulie by Design.
Respected at all times.
Broadcasting from San Francisco, California, the city by the bay.
It's about to go down.
We shine on positive Pacific Islander role model every Sunday. From 10 a.m. to noon, it's time for the iconic Faika Podcast with your hosts,
Listening to
Nackie and Carl.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Today's Sunday, May 24th, Season 4, Episode 18. On behalf of the host team, Carl, with me, your lovely host, Nackie. Good morning, Nackie.
Good morning.
Let's see. Today, you're stuck with Nackie and me the whole way. No guests, no other points of view, just the two of us. Check-ins and chop it up and let everybody get on with their Sunday. That's our show today. Nackie, what's up?
Good morning. Happy Sunday. So lots and lots and lots of stuff this week. We had the numbers are still rising for COVID-19 for Pacific Islanders in LA. They are reporting 1,000 new cases every day. Every day, people, every day.
Dr. Samuel posted something about that on his Facebook, and at first, Nackie said the numbers, and I was like, no, it's 100. It's got to be 100.
Right.
It's actually 1,000.
It's 1,000 new cases a day. And I know with the governor releasing some of the businesses to open, even churches, I know that some churches are still choosing to hold off in holding services just because of health reasons. A lot of elders that are going to church, and so they're holding off on, having church. Like when the city, Las Vegas, Pastor Lucky, they got the news too that they're free to open up their church, and they've decided to hold off a little bit, which I love. So good for you, Pastor Lucky, for making that decision. What else? I'm totally surprised about the COVID-19 number. I'm not surprised because we get we're on a daily or a weekly meeting, so we get updated every week of what's going on and what the numbers are. So I am surprised that we haven't dropped.
Yeah, I think that when you see the numbers every day, you hear them every week, and we're getting reportings from different regions from around the country, it's different. But when you start hitting milestones like 50,000, 100,000, the New York Times, they posted the front page of the New York Times is the names of every person who's died from COVID-19. I think as you start to hit milestone numbers,
awful.
It really starts to hit home. And then it is the feeling of, I think that we're a little weary of it, right? At some point, we feel like, hey, we should just be able to go back to normal. And it's like, do we have the staying power to follow through this? And you can see, like from Dr. Samoa, he's saying that now is not the time to relax and move on and kind of go back to normal immediately. So good for the people that even though regulation, like Pastor Lucky, even though regulation has said it's okay, they're still using their own common sense as to what they want to do with their people.
Yeah, it's crazy that we're still... I just wanted to say hi to who is checking in on Facebook Live. Eddie Unatoa. Good morning, Eddie.
Morning, Eddie.
Nellie Rodriguez in
Nellie.
Washington. Good morning, sister. Florence Masoli, who is out here in Concord.
That's a very
Good morning, sister.
active lady right there.
She's very active.
All the COVID-19 things, the cooking, the hiking, she's doing it all.
Yesterday she made chocolate chip pancakes, and while we were on the phone FaceTiming, she was cooking pancakes, and Nellie was making some beef breaded thing that she put in the oven. And I was like, damn, I'm just having toast and coffee. So they're staying to the COVID-19 by shelter in place. Good morning, Anthony Masoli, Tony Masoli, Phyllis Faasuamalie. Good morning.
Morning, Phyllis.
Good morning, everyone. Tammy Tonyai Rodandi. Good morning, everyone. So
Always.
we were, as always, Tammy. Good morning. So, the COVID numbers are going up, and as we are starting to slowly open up, California is starting to slowly open up, even though LA County has extended their shelter in place until July.
Yeah, I think nationally, the curve, you look at New York and those kind of things. Nationally, if numbers are coming down, I think that as PIs, we need to be careful because all the numbers and all the meetings and all the information we're getting is that the PI numbers are still climbing. So even if you hear national numbers or state numbers, specifically for our people in our community, they're going up.
Right. And it's so bad that now we have a national PI task COVID-19 response team. So, and it's headed by Dr. Reyno Samoa, who this week I should have had him on because he had meetings this week with the White House. Jeff Vaitoa, good morning, American Samoa in the house. This week. We were going to talk about the numbers did you mention New York and they posted?
New York Times. And the print is so small, it is impactful. Mm-hmm. So if you get a chance, go look at their webpage. There's a ton of news stories out there. CNN has a piece on it as well.
Right.
Their front page has the name of every person who's passed away from COVID-19 in the United States.
Right.
And the font it's impactful when you see it.
Yeah.
So check it out.
Yeah, it's crazy. And that's a lot of our Zoom meetings are about COVID-19 and the National PI COVID task force, we've been talking about numbers every week. That's what we talk about. And the stuff that is going. So what the meeting is every regional area checks in with PI task force numbers and how many people have been tested, how many are Pacific Islanders, how many cases, and how many, have passed away. And I'd have to say Oregon, and I've said this, I think, a million times, Oregon, Manu Malo, who is head of the Oregon, the regional task force in Oregon, she freaking kicks ass every week.
I always look forward to her numbers.
She kicks ass every week when she gets on that meeting. She's like, Oregon test. Good morning, Ray Follow. Every week she's like, this many people were tested. Like she'll say 600 and something people were tested and 25 were Pacific Islanders, 10 were Samoan, 5 were Marshallese, 5 were, she breaks it down.
Speaking of numbers, we ask if you can share this out because we're going to go over, we're already going over COVID-19 numbers that are specific to our community. So if you can share the podcast, share our Go Live, we will be able to reach a bigger audience and get the information out to more people.
Yeah. So for the Bay Area, like several weeks ago, which I love. Good morning, JD.
Good morning, JD.
Several weeks ago or a couple weeks ago, Bay Area Pacific Islander Action Response Team set up testing in San Francisco, which is like Gaynor Siatanga, Melissa Netane Jones, Manu Fo, Liainga Anuai, the Samoan Solution Girls. Just tons of it. Danny.
Ursula Ann.
D-Boy, Naha Vetvalu. This team is like on the ground, like running. They set up 4 testing sites. Good morning, Monica. 4 testing sites, and they tested 4,679 people in those sites.
Yeah, we're calling that boots on the ground. So
boots on the ground.
We report numbers. There's people that are out there in the community, setting it up, and making sure that testing is not just available, but it's available in the communities that our people are in.
Yeah,
that's very important to us because it needs to be convenient. It needs to be free. There needs to be people that look like them running the sites.
Exactly.
So shout out to them. They're doing a
big
great job.
Shout out to them. And so, and they broke it down like out of all those, some of the sites, they tested 11 Pacific Islanders, which is kind of a low number because there's so many of us in the city.
I think the numbers will pick up at the testing sites as soon as our community starts to see and meet people, family members that have tested, and then they hear where they went to test. And then, so I think the numbers will pick up. I think that early on it's that they're going to be low.
Yeah, so there's tons of sites. So with those numbers, 11 Pacific Islanders were tested. Out of the 11, 8 tested positive.
That's crazy.
8 tested positive. I don't know why I'm going to cry, but 8 tested positive.
That's a wild number.
It's a wild number. And out of the 8 that tested positive, Tufanua, good morning.
Good morning.
Out of the 8 that tested positive, the Bay Area PI Action Response Team actually follows up and with care packages, if you're put out of work because you get COVID-19 and you have to stay home, of course, you're quarantined and you lose, you can't pay your rent. They get you resources to help pay your rent, resources to get you food, and then you also get retested. And the 8 people got retested after their 14-day quarantine. They got retested and their test came back negative. All 8. So that's a great thing. So they set up testing at Ceremony County Event Center. That's Monday and Tuesday. And then Wednesday and Thursday, they're at Ceremony High School. And then I believe Friday and Saturdays, East Palo Alto YMCA, YMCA has free testing. Also, free COVID testing in San Francisco, Hunters View YMCA, Hope San Francisco. They did free testing on Friday, Hope SF. And so if you're in that area, go get tested. It's a simple test and you could pause, and you may not, even though you don't have the results or you don't have any of the symptoms, you could be a carrier. So that's freaking awesome.
We'd ask, if you test, make sure that you share that with your family and your group and your community, because that's how the word's going to get out in our community to go test, is when they start hearing that our cousin, our aunts, our uncle, nephews, nieces have tested, then that'll start happening in the community. So make sure, if you test, make sure you share what the process was, so that we can get involved and more people will get tested. I think we're going to get more tests as we go, a higher percentage.
So Lina Manulelewa, good morning.
Lina.
William Finau, good morning. Yeah, we're working on the audio issues. Leah Boasa, good morning. Craig Durao, hey, good morning. Mona Lisa Langford, checking in LA. And Cessna Nico, good morning, sister. Gail Fomina Silinga, good morning, Gail. Good morning, everyone. If we can ask you to share the podcast so we can share the COVID information and census and la-da-da-da-da.
Is it in the chat room? Have they commented on what the audio problem is?
They were getting echoing. So Flo says echoing, then she gives a thumbs up when it's okay. So there you go.
Well, thanks to our IT team on our Facebook Live that can give us information on what we need to fix.
Thank you, sister. So she's at Prince Uola. Good morning.
Good morning, Prince.
Thank you for checking in. We're shouting out the people that are on our Facebook Live. So if we can ask you to share. This week, what did we do this week? This week, I just wanted to congratulate.
Meetings.
A lots and lots of Zoom meetings. This week, I also joined a prayer group it's not Follows Church now. It's Pastor Tufuli and First Lady Audrey. First Lady Audrey has a morning prayer group at 6 a.m. If you're interested, hit me up and I'll send you the Zoom link. I joined with Sister Flo. Now, this is what happened. My mom calls me and she says, and she called me for no other reason because I just spoke to her like an hour or so before she called the second time. And she says, oh, hi. And I go, yeah, Mom, what's up? And she goes, I just talked to Florence and she says she's on a prayer group. And I go, oh, okay, that's nice. And then it went silent for like 30 seconds. And then I was like, that's all you call me for? Just to tell me what you and Flo talks about? And she's like, yeah. And I said, ugh, I gotta go. So I joined the prayer group with First Lady Audrey Tufuli. And their church is out of Daly City. And I was born and raised out of that church. And so I checked it. I've been going to the prayer meeting 6 a.m. in the morning. And it's a really good group that's there. Pastor Lau said the prayer this morning with First Lady Tonga. And so it was really, really good. And so
good for Auntie, because that's why she called, so that you would join.
Yes. So I joined. And so it's really good. It's motivating. And I get my prayer in the morning. And I actually get somebody more spiritual than I praying over me. So Larry Duenas, good morning, brother. Happy Sunday.
Maybe
So
car show.
We,
need
yes,
that car
we
show
need that
going
car
once
show
this
back up.
COVID gets off of us.
Yes, Larry is part of the Chelu Car Club, and every year they have a fundraiser and a car show in Vallejo, but because of the COVID-19, that's been shut down. So hopefully next year, everything and all the functions and the festivals will go back to normal. Maybe just a little tweaked with a little social distancing, or maybe people still wearing masks, you think?
Who knows what's going to happen?
Yeah.
Are we going to have a second wave in the fall, and then what
Right.
happens? So
Right.
hopefully 2021 is back to normal, not like new normal. Stand 5 miles away from each other and,
Right.
and gear up, but like hopefully we can get back to our lives.
Yeah, yeah. And so I wanted to wish my niece, Tyler Gasaloga, she graduated from Cal State East Bay. She got her BA in psychology. And so I'm so proud of her. And like all the other graduates of 2020, she was not able to walk on stage and have the celebration that they deserve. And so congratulations to all the graduates of 2020 and my baby Tai.
Congratulations.
Yes. How was your week?
My week, a whole bunch of Zoom meetings. I was on vacation, so I taught someone how to edit. Then I taught her how to edit further and join files, and that would be you, Nackie. And you went buck wild with the editing and did like probably, I don't know, all of the editing we need to do. I'm not sure. You told me you didn't edit all day, but then I talked to you in the evening and you're like, oh, I just finished this file. So teaching was good, having time off from my 9 to 5 and just have time to take a deep breath, reset a little bit, spend extra time with Poly by Design and moving some things forward. And and a ton of Zoom meetings.
Ton of Zoom meetings. I was like, I get to the point, like the first prayer meeting I went to, it's a Zoom meeting, right? And so my alarm goes off and I have to get up and go wash my face. I slap some eyeliner on, and then I had to put a bra on, and then I go sit in front of my computer, and they don't put, it's not a Zoom meeting. It's just, there's no video. And then I was so happy for that. So then this morning I just rolled out of bed and got on the prayer. So, you know what we did this week? We went to the Samoan language class that
Yes, we did.
Tama Fa'aleava put on Thursday at 5 p.m. If you're free, it's a great language class to learn. We had Thursday, it's for an hour, and there's a Zoom link. So we'll share it. Just hit us up if you want to join. We will send you the Zoom link for Thursday. We ain't just gonna post it.
Thank you to Ma and Professor Loyan.
Yes.
Because she's the one that
Set it up.
She kind of ran the Zoom portion of it, and Tama just got to teach. So thanks to both of them for
Yes.
putting that together for whoever wanted to show up.
Yes, it was a good class. Good morning, Cedric Vanisi. Good morning, Aitulangi. Good morning. So it was a good class. He had a good crowd, and he taught some basic stuff. I had my daughter, my kids were downstairs, so I get out of my room and I yell downstairs, who wants to do Samoan class? And everybody was busy watching a movie. And so then my baby, Malia, she comes up into the room. And so, hi, Melissa Natalia Jones. We were just talking about you, all the great work, and the San Mateo numbers. And we'll be talking about, Voices of Oceania. But, sorry, I got distracted. So Malia comes up to take the class with me, but she doesn't want to be in camera sight. So she sits on the side, and her and I put the camera on mute, and her and I were having conversations. But she did learn how to say, how are you in Samoan, and how to respond. She hears it all the time, but when people ask her, she just says, I'm good in English. And so now she knows how to respond the shortest way possible, lele fafetai. And so I love that she got to learn that. And then my other girls said they'll join next Thursday because they were busy. But if I can ask you to share, because I have a lot of good information. Oh, no COVID in Samoa.
Continue to we continue to do better in the Pacific on the
Right.
islands than we do in the United States. In
Right.
the United States, we do worse than the overall population, and out in the Pacific, we have like literally
All the
like,
islands.
for all intents and purposes, we don't have a problem with COVID-19 in the Pacific, and Samoa continues to report zero COVID cases.
I haven't heard any cases in Samoa. I haven't heard any cases in Tonga. No cases in Fiji. Marshallese Islands. I haven't heard anything, and I think it has a lot to do with us being secluded and shutting down right away. And I know that the Pacific Islands learned a lot from when the measles pandemic or pandemic happened. As soon as they heard of COVID, they shut everything down because they learned the steps and they knew what to do and what not to do because of the measles epidemic. So kudos to the Pacific Island. Let me just, Donato Fatuesi, good morning.
Good morning.
Cedric is on, so that reminds me that
Utopia.
San Francisco is having a fundraiser. They have bingo squares that they are selling. They're fundraising for the Pride Parade, and that got canceled this year, but they're still fundraising for next year's Pride Parade and for operational stuff.
Help
right?
run the program.
Help run the program. So contact or go follow Utopia San Francisco, their page. Get a hold of Cedric, who is on the chat. Go friend him and buy squares from him.
Win some money.
Win some money. $1,000. You can win $1,000 as the first grand prize.
Not a lot of bingo squares out there on the internet or on
Right.
Facebook that are only $2.
$2 make you holla. Gail, thank you for all the info and have a great Memorial weekend. Oh, thank you, Gail.
Thank you,
too.
Gail.
So, lots and lots and lots of, or no reported cases from the Pacific Islands, which I think is freaking amazing because they shut down. Fiji had about 16 cases. Thank you, Donato. Oh, look at you, girl. You need to come on the show. Tuffy, good morning. Famoli
morning, Tuffy.
Jordan. Hi, my Molly. So, I really didn't know the numbers for Fiji. I was just,
Yeah, they're low in the Pacific. They're
low in the Pacific.
Islands.
Yeah. So, and yes, Flo wants to go to Samoa. Yes, girl, I'm trying to get back there too. Tuffy, good morning. You just missed our Utopia San Francisco announcement. So, also, and I know we're just still stuck on COVID, but I had an ethnic media meeting this week with Ethnic Media Services, and they have a meeting every week to update most of it. So Ethnic Media Services is a group that they collect it's Zoom meetings with media services from all over the world.
Yeah, so what they do is they gather ethnic media like us for the PIs.
Mm-hmm.
There's Asian media. There's Hispanic media.
Mm-hmm.
So it's Ethnic Media Services gathers us all. Sometimes there's 100 people, 100 different organizations
Right.
that are ethnic media organizations together, and then they have speakers. And I had a doctor's appointment, I think, during this
Yeah.
call. But they get all the ethnic media platforms together, and then they have speakers that speak on different topics. And I wish I would have been there, because when you were explaining to me all the things that you guys went over on Friday,
Oh my God.
it's stuff that a lot of people wouldn't think about.
Yeah. You don't think about you're thinking of trying not to get sick and that blah, blah, blah. But the stuff that is going on, like they had Dr. Patrice Duncan, who is with United Nations Women. And she was going over statistics of now with COVID-19 and everyone being shelter in place, like the domestic violence has gone up for women. 2.73% women are on lockdown situations with their abuser, and they're either getting abused by their partner or their adult children. So I was like, wow, I didn't even think about that. They have no resources. You can't go get a restraining order because a lot of the courts are shut down. You can't call the police because there's not that much. They're busy, or you know what I mean?
They're kind of left on their own. I mean, 3% is a big piece of the population
Right.
that's locked up with their abuser. There's no place to go. They don't have they're supposed to stay in the house with possibly somebody they have a restraining order against.
Right. And so they're stuck. And so domestic violence percentage has gone up. Good morning, Lilia. Good morning, Neo. Hi, boyfriend. Leah Tawala, good morning.
Good morning.
Tawayange, good morning. So what I learned from that is that I loved Dr. Beatrice Duncan, who spoke. She's a policy advisor for UN Women, and she summarized everything about women's rights and how domestic violence has peaked, like I said, because of that, and that women are now barriers of working and because and being teachers at home.
Right.
So not only do they work 40 hours, because a lot of women, let me get this, 59% of women that are employed, they're essential workers. 59% of women are essential workers. So not only do they work a 40-hour job, but most of them have to come home and teach their children or teach them and work. You know what I'm saying? So stress, a lot of stress. And then, oh my gosh, it's just lots and lots and lots, and I can't, it's all in my brain. I just can't get it out. But the thing that stuck out for me was the domestic violence that went out, that is going on. But 144,000 women have been widowed because of COVID-19. And so then it's taking them to be, now they're single parents if they're a mother. And some countries, if your husband dies, you don't get their assets because you're a woman. So now you're forced to take care of yourself and your children with none of your husband's, like, I don't know, money or his bank account or whatever, how that goes. And so 1 of 5 women do not have the right to inherit. So they were talking about lack of protection for women. And so, and then how some countries, 500 million women do not have access to technology. So you can't call on a phone, you can't call the police, you don't have access for information or the internet to send somebody an email for help.
I think those are, you think about when we talk about the 1%, right?
Right.
The billionaires,
Right.
the Walmart, and those kind of things. If you think about the overall population of the world, if you were born in the West, you were born into the 1%. We're the 1% of the entire world. Our technology, our standard of living, all of those kind of things
Right.
are 1% of the world. So you kind of don't, it's hard to relate. You hear the term, it's overused
Right.
term, first world problems, but
Right.
it's hard to relate to, those 500, was it 500,000? 500?
Right.
That don't have access to technology. They don't have access to the internet, phones, possibly electricity, running water, all those kind of things that really we take for granted
Right.
being in the West. But this standard of living that we're in is the top 1% in the world.
Right. And I automatically assume everybody
Right.
has the internet. Everybody has a cell phone. But in a lot of countries, they don't even have access to, they don't even have electricity. So it is disheartening. Gail was saying it's so sad no one thought about domestic violence and child abuse. Totally. I never thought. I was just trying not to get COVID-19.
So think about this, the statistic, and I don't know by how much, but alcohol consumption has gone up.
Right.
And that's alcohol consumption
Yes.
has gone up with bars and restaurants closing.
Closed.
So that means that people are buying it at the grocery store, taking it home and drinking at a higher rate
Right.
than people were at bars and stuff. So
Right.
when you get that and you get stress of a relationship where a husband and wife both go to work, so they're not spending 24/7 with each other, and now they're in the house spending, the dynamics changed that we're not used to, right? You're not used to
Right.
seeing your spouse or your partner
Right.
24/7. The stress level is going to go up. The drinking goes up. It doesn't surprise me when you think about that from a math standpoint.
Right.
That domestic violence is going to go up.
Yeah, it is disheartening. And then Donata says, she heard a quote this week. We're not just working at home. We're working at home trying to work. Right.
Yeah.
Right. And they also said it's a great time for estate planning. That's true. That's true. This is the time to get your estate and if you have a will or you don't have a will, this is the time to get one. and then ensure that the right people are able to make medical decisions on your behalf if you can't. That's true. Thank you, girl.
And those are all things that
show.
we should have in place anyway. But with COVID-19, it definitely reminds us of how important these things are. Because if somebody's not there, and Cree Mawia had talked about this when JT had passed.
Yes.
About how important it is to not leave anything to chance. Make sure that you are set up, you're organized, you have everything in line, because when things happen, if you're not ready, some things can happen to you and your family that you don't want to happen.
Right. And then if you need legal paperwork or any kind of information, or you need legal help, Linda Massoli, who is with Legal Shield, you can go to www.massoli.net. And then if you need a notary republic, Christine Mawia she has her own company, and she is currently doing, notarizing everything and anything, and you can find her on Facebook and Instagram. And so, we're trying to promote Pacific Islander businesses because
Shop Pacifica, and it's not just clothes.
That's what we do.
Services.
You can find her on Instagram as Quick Service MN, and she's a notary public, and so she does everything. And if you know anybody else that's Pacific Islander, that would be great too. Shop Pacifica.
Shop Pacifica.
Yes, we have Wayfinder. Wayfinder is on Instagram, and Carl has his t-shirt on. So go look for him on Instagram and shop. And also Lex55. It's Mental Awareness Month, and they have this great logo that I believe they're selling on Instagram. I mean, I know we went from go to Shop Pacifica only because we're encouraging, a lot of people have lost money by staying home and not being able to go to work. And so a lot of their resources are working from home and their internet business and selling stuff. And so mental health awareness is this logo that's up is from Lex55, and they're a great company, and Shop Pacifica is what I'm trying to say. So we're going to take our very first break after we read some ads.
Okay. Census counts determine how the government redraws districts, which can give our communities appropriate representation in Congress, the state capitol, and in cities and towns across the country. An undercount may cause your community to potentially lose congressional seats, but a complete count can gain your community accurate representation. When we aren't accurately counted in the census, resources and political power for our communities gets assigned to somewhere else, somewhere that might already have more money, more privilege, and more power. To learn more, visit californiacensus.org. Why is the census important to me? I'm tired of being called other, and that's a quote from Professor Anna Patero.
Right.
Okay.
Our next song, our first song is from Reno on Hawaii, featuring Hi Guy Lai. It's called Good Love. Enjoy. Right now.
Yo, what's up, y'all? It's your boy Q. Joseph. Island Block Radio. Y'all are tuned in to the Faika Podcast. Every Sunday at 10 to 12 noon. Stop playing. Come on.
You're so beautiful. You make my heart smile. This rush of feelings I never had in a while. I never knew a love like this could exist, baby. I knew you were the one from our first kiss. 'Cause your love is taking over, leaving in control. No more holding back, 'cause I feel it in my soul. Feel the love.
Leaving another ain't even an option. Your highness, your majesty, however you call it. Sweet as a mango, but still trying to boss you. My baby, you gorgeous. All the hard work and you think I don't notice. Girl, you the dopest. You blinded me with your love, but it's crazy. I'm still learning to focus. Having your heart in the palm of my hands was a part of the plan. You understand me? Winning your love feel like winning the Grammys. The frame of your picture is perfect. The art of a baddie, I love you.
Cause your love is taking over, leaving in control. No more holding back, cause I feel it in my soul. Feel the love blowing in my veins. I was lost, but your love showed me the way. I used to be so cold, no love could break me, but you set me free. My love is your escape. Baby, you're the only one I need. Your love has got me feeling for more. You got me down on one knee. Baby, will you marry me? For life it's just me and you. Will you just say I do? You got me down on one knee. Baby, will you marry me? For life it's just me and you. Will you just say I do? Cause your love is taking over, leaving in control. No more holding back, cause I feel it in my soul. Feel the love blowing in my veins. I was lost, but your love showed me the way. I used to be so cold, no love could break me, but you set me free. My love is your escape. Baby, you're the only one I need. And love has got me feeling for
And we're back. You're listening
I don't think we ever left.
You're listening to the FICA podcast. I am Nackie. With me, as always, is Carl.
Good morning.
And our producer, T. Mena. Good morning, Jimmy Johnson. And our family, Epi Almavai, Samoan Solutions. Samoan Solutions. Ooh, were we doing that?
We're doing it?
Are we doing it? Are we doing
Do
it?
that.
Do that. Do you have the flyer? Yeah. So Samoan Solutions is they have a play every year. I think this is the third year, and it's Whangonga o Samoa. And it's a play written by Sia Figiel, produced and adapted by Samoan Solutions, was Epi and Whanga. And it's happening July 10th and 11th, and their show details will be announced soon. But go follow Samoan Solutions on all social media outlets. It's a really, really good play. We watched it twice. We went 2 days in a row, and it's funny. It's funny. It's a play about stories and tales, or what is the word? Legends. There you go.
And it's
Pacific Islander legends.
It's got the kids in doing the play, doing the stories. And if there's parts of it that are in language, and then most of it's in English. So it's not like if you go and you don't speak Samoan, you'll still be able to follow the play.
Totally.
And it's awesome to see the kids involved in every piece of it.
Yeah.
The production, the music, the dancing, the storytelling. They do a great job. And that's something that when we talk to them away from the production, and we ask, like, well, what was your experience with doing that? Like, you've done a really good job with it. And they both were like, we had no idea. Like, we just said, we're going to do it. And you wouldn't know that there's not like some professional producer or something behind it all. They do it so well. They put it together. The audience, you get the feeling of the community when you're in the audience. But we missed it last year because we were in Samoa. But barring being in the Pacific, we're never going to miss that. That's a great show.
We're not missing that. It's happening in July 10th and 11th. So, we're going to plaster the information all over social media. And their generosity, or their sponsor, is San Bruno Community Foundation. So they do a great job every year. And you don't have, it says the play is called Whangonga o Samoa, but you do not have to be Samoan just to go to the play. It's just legends of Samoa, and anyone can go, and it's girl, I don't understand. So if I went and really enjoyed it, you're going to enjoy it too. I just want to shout out Nellie Allo, who's tuning in. Good morning,
Hey, Nelly.
Nellie. Cummings, good morning, Cummings. Pep Malepeai, good morning, Pep. Thank you for tuning in. And my mother is on. So
Good morning, Auntie.
Good morning, Mama. So if I can ask you to share the podcast, we just want to share information and numbers on COVID-19. And if you have to go to church, you can share it and then come back later to your page to watch it. Or download the Faika app so you can listen later. Or if you're going to church, Win the City Las Vegas. They
Coming
go
up soon.
live. Yes, they go live every Sunday. So check them out at 11 o'clock, and then you can come back to us. What else? What did I miss?
Let's see. Voices of Oceania.
Oh yes, that happens every Saturday.
Every Saturday of May. They stream live from their Facebook page at 7 p.m.
Yes.
Pacific. Sometimes I just say 7 p.m. and assume everybody knows that's
Yeah.
Pacific time, but the audience, there's a big audience. And
Yeah.
it's not just in the Western time zone. Tune in each week for awesome music and information about the 2020 census. This Saturday, they'll have Us Rex, that's Rex Tafua. Find out why it is so important for our PIs to be counted. And it's brought to you by the Pacific Islanders Complete Count Committee of San Mateo.
Yeah, and Melissa Natane Jones hosts that every week, and they go live on the Pacific Islander Complete Count Committee of San Mateo Facebook page. So you want to check them
She's
out.
a great host.
She's very funny too.
Yeah.
I love Melissa. She came into FICA with us when we were in San Francisco.
Mm-hmm.
She's very funny, and she's huge community leader for the Bay Area. So a big shout out to Melissa Natane Jones. She's doing a friggin'
Anytime she's on the mic as an MC, as a speaker, keynote speaker, and she's funny, she's engaging.
right.
And she's just always involved in great things.
Yeah. So, not this week, but last week they had DJ Rude Boy, which is Danny Osi Perez and Balufa, and they did a really good job. They went live with the band singing, and DJ Rude Boy was playing music in between breaks and stuff. They're promoting the census. I can't even tell you how important.
You can't believe it?
I can't believe it. How important it is for you to fill out your census so that we can be counted. Pacific Islanders need to be counted, and the resources that we're missing out because we were way undercounted in 2010. 2010, we were so undercounted, and we need to be represented.
Well,
We
there's
need to
more
be
of us now
represented.
than there
Did
were
I
in
just say
2010.
represented?
You made up a word.
We need to be represented. Good morning, Mom. She says, good morning, my FICA family. Mena, don't forget to... my mother is on telling Mena what to do. Taffy, good morning, Taffy.
Morning, Taffy.
So we're also on a lot of committees this week. We were with, we're on the National PI Task Force, which is with a bunch of amazing people. Like, every region, like the regional PI Task Force for Northern California is headed by Natalie and Tao, and they report
Rams.
of
PI
Rams.
Task Force.
And the Pacific Islanders, SWE, what is it? Pacific Islander Wellness Initiative. Then they have clinician Manu Malo. And so they're led by, they do Northern California, and then Cowan Young does Southern California. And I'm like in awe of all the people that are in this meeting every week, because Dr. Samoa is on there. And then there's Dr. Shelton is on there. Who else? Adrialo and Joseph Saya. He heads up Washington. So they all report
Jake
the numbers.
Fitisemanu.
Jake Fitisemanu is with the Regional Task Force in Utah. Of course, Manu Malo does Oregon, but they all report the numbers, and all they break down if Pacifica, what is that word? Disaggregated. Disaggregated. Where they break out the numbers by race. And they give you the PI numbers, who got tested, or it's by whoever got tested that are PIs, and who tested positive, and thank God there's no deaths this week in San Mateo. And so I love that they report the numbers. Not only do they report the numbers, they give you the resources. Like some families, because of the person in their family that got COVID is the breadwinner there, and you have to be quarantined and can't go to work for 14 days. They help bring food. They find resources, food to the families that need it. If you need help paying rent, they try to get resources to help pay. I mean, it's
Get
great.
you retested.
It's get you retested. I love it. It's a great group of people that are led by Dr. Samoa. And Ed, are you still on vacation this week?
I am on vacation through tomorrow, and then a 4-day week. It's always good to, pin your vacation to a weekend where you're going to have Monday off too. So I go back to work on Tuesday.
Yeah, this week, SCDC, they did a graduation drive-by. I was watching it go live. They were going live on Facebook where SCDC they drove to seniors that were in their PIYA program there at SCDC, Pacific Islander Youth Association, or is it association? And all the seniors, Alliance, Pacific Islander Youth Alliance. All the seniors that graduated 2020 that didn't have the opportunity to cross the stage. The staff of SCDC drove to the seniors' homes and gifted them gift baskets and balloons and did a drive-by cheering and honking the horn, which I thought was an amazing thing, which a lot of people are doing these days. But they're doing. So yeah, I did see Patsy, Tito, Lynn Pelisalma, Tino Felice, and John Aisha Afua. So it was a really good group. I mean, it's not just like random people are going, like it's the team that's going at SCDC. So it's beautiful to see them do it, and they're doing great things for the community there. If you need essential resources, go to Samoan Community Development Center's page, Facebook or Instagram. There's a light application there it's really light, like barely any questions, just so they know what you need, and they'll help get you essentials if you need food or toiletries or whatever else the grocery stores have ran out. And if you're not from San Francisco, still fill it out, because they will get a way to help. They'll find a way to help you. They've had unsung heroes. Carl was an unsung hero, where they highlight Pacific Islanders that are doing community work or that are usually not in the highlight. So they did Patsy Tito did Carl, our very own Carl. They also did Professor Lassie Loyan, Drew Vai. They did. They also did Andrew Vai, yes. And so, Andrew. Oh gosh, he used to be the Tuala. He used to be with SCDC. He was the PIYA project manager. Project something, but he did a really good job. And so tons and tons of people that are not often in the spotlight. Thank you, Mena. Not often in the spotlight, but they're doing the work, and just like Carl hates to be on Facebook, or in the camera. So follow SCDC, Samoan Community Development Center, on Instagram. They have a YouTube page where they're doing yoga and exercise.
Yeah, they've exploded their social media in the last 6 months.
Right.
I mean, they weren't really active. At least I didn't see them. Probably by design didn't. So we did a lot of promotions for them, and now they've blossomed onto so many different platforms on social media. It's awesome to see, because the kids get involved. They're on TikTok.
Yes, they're on
Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. All those things, and it's good, because I think the best thing about it is it gets to promote all the things they're doing. Because there's it seemed like there was a concentrated community that knew what they're doing, but they weren't really known beyond that, and now they really get to show what they're doing. So shout out to Patsy and her team.
Yes, they've stepped up their game, and so it's because we're in shelter in place. A lot of people have stepped up their social media game. Also, Hot Siva. We're going to talk about Hot Siva, which is done by my boyfriend, Neo Verver. He goes live on his The Neo Show every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 9 a.m. California time. 9 a.m. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. It's light aerobics and light stretching, and he does this tapping thing, which I love. So if you want to know what tapping is, you gotta go watch Neo, The Neo Show, do Hot Siva Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 9 a.m. California time. So I don't know what time you're at. It's California time. But if you miss him at 9 a.m., it stays on his page. So, and I usually share it. I usually share it so that you can watch it later. Or if you wake up later than 9 o'clock, you can watch it, at 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, whatever. But he does this tapping thing, which I love. Good morning. Oh, Commissioner Faunga Malinga. Good morning.
Good morning, Faunga. Do you have Twitch?
Yes.
So
I have Twitch.
Used to follow Cisco, Big Body Radio. I'd follow him, and he'd get too many followers or too many views, or something would happen, and then he'd get kicked off Facebook, and then we'd go to Instagram, and then go back to Facebook. And recently he switched to Twitch, and I haven't got a chance to listen to him on Twitch. Have you?
Yes, I have. I downloaded the Twitch app because so Cisco is a DJ and a MC. He tours with Common Kings and J-Boog, and he's big shit. And so because of COVID-19, he's home like everybody else, shelter in place. So he's been playing music, and like you said, he's been getting cut off.
It was like an adventure every Thursday. Well, he was on way more than Thursdays, but it was like how long is he going to be on until he gets kicked off, and then is he going to come back on Facebook? So good for him for finding a platform that can handle him, because that was. It was almost like a fun adventure you knew you were going to go on. Like, he's going to get kicked off pretty soon, and then where do we find him again?
Yeah. So if you haven't found him or you haven't listened to him before, he's very funny. He plays great music, oldies, island reggae. I mean, everything you can think of, he plays. And so I love when he's on, and we put him on the Bluetooth, and our house usually is drinking and listening to music. He gets you in the mood to party or just listen to oldies, and it takes you back to whatever you were doing at that time. Real quick, Neo is on. Good morning, Gloria Ortega. She says, "Happy Memorial Weekend, Carl."
Thank you.
Are we taking a break? Yes, we are. Go ahead. It's on you.
We're going to take our second break, and this song is by Rebel Soldiers. It's called Nothing to Hide.
Nothing to Hide. There you go.
Yo, what's up, y'all? It's your boy Q. Yo, what's up, y'all? It's your boy Q. Joseph. From Island Block Radio. Y'all are tuned in to the Faika Podcast every Sunday at 10 to 12 noon. Stop playing. Come on.
You're listening to the Faika Podcast. I am Nackie, and with me, as always, is Carl.
Good morning.
And our producer, Timena Fualunga Moli. She's our everything right now. She keeps us in check.
Everybody's getting used to graphics and the cool camera switches and all this. And we're going to get back to our studio, and people are going to be like, hey, why is the show... Get so your producer
bland.
back.
Why is the show so bland now? Grandma will tell if breaks. This past Friday, we had Pacifica Talanoa. And Pacifica Talanoa is a support group that we started because of shelter in place, COVID-19. A lot of people are stuck home, or not stuck, but you're just home and you can't go anywhere except to leave to go to the grocery store. Some people live by themselves and need adult conversation or just to listen to people talking.
It's funny, well, not funny, but it's interesting how we started it as a support group for COVID-19, because obviously it was big source of stress for everybody. There was fear, people were dying, the unknown was out there. So we created the the space on Friday nights for people to just kind of come in and talk about COVID-19, but it's really developed into something where, I mean, sometimes we talk about COVID-19, other times we just talk about things that are, we talk about how people are dealing with stress. What are some of the common things that people are doing? What are some of the creative things that people are doing? We talk about exercise. We talk about stressors that people have at work. It's just a host of different topics. So it's not just COVID-19. It's any topic that comes up. And it's a fun thing where we've had people that were literally commuting home. Yeah. They're in their car. Right. So they just tuned in safely, I might add, but they just listened. Other people talk while they're in the car, but they've got, it's hands free. We've had people literally walking out of the car into the house saying, I'm going to go sit by my pool. Hold on a second. And they're on the iPad with us. So it's a real easy thing to tune into. Some people will tune in for 10 or 15 minutes, say hi, check in and be on their way. And other people will stay the whole way. But it's been a great experience.
Yeah. I love the people that have been on. They just, I would think, I always think that people get on Zoom and you don't know quite who you're talking to. And it's been really good where people have been opening up, and some people come in and check in late, or not late, because we say it starts at 6 p.m., but really you can, it's 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. California time. You can check in anytime.
Yeah, people come in at 7.
And some people come in and check in, and then they'll leave early because they have other things to do. So you don't have to stay the 2 hours, and you don't have to come in early, and you can just pop in and out whenever you want. We've had tons of people that just come in, hey, I'm here. I just want to say hi, and how was your week? And then gone.
So one of the topics that we talked about this week was the rising number of cases and deaths with Pacific Islanders versus the downward trend for the rest of the country. And one of the questions came up as to, well, how can we get that message across to the PI community so that they will hear it? And our thoughts were, and the thoughts in the group was that we need high-profile Pacific Islanders to speak the message about how important it is, and all the things that we're trying to get across, like Dr. Samoa is trying to get across, is how do we get those? And it needs to be high-profile members. So we kind of put out our own hit list of people that, if this person who's a Pacific Islander public entity, public image, celebrity were to send a message, it would get heard by many. Right. So if you, when we're talking about big names, The Rock, Jason Momoa, Dinah Jane, but if listeners have any kind of connections or public image people that we could get a hold of and have them give that message, any help that we can get with getting that was going to help our people. Because I think Dr. Samoa has a good point of, he was saying the same thing, like how do we broaden the message? And I think that if we're with public figures, it's going to help. Yeah,
that's going to be good. Commissioner Faunga Malinga was posting stuff about the testing that's going on, that's headed up by the Bay Area Pacific Islander, task force, with Melissa Natane Jones, the Samoan Solution Girls at UCSF is one of the representatives that are supplying the tests. And Commissioner Faunga Malinga posted that he went to the testing site, he got tested, it came back negative, but the big, huge thing is he got tested, and the same day, or if not the next day, he got the results. So that is huge, because people don't want to wait 5 days. How many people, you know what I'm saying? Like within the 5 days or whenever you get your test results, how many, if you're infected, you've infected 50 million other people. You know what I'm saying? So thank you, Commissioner, for posting that information. I really appreciate it. I'm sorry I threw you off because he popped into the news feed, and that's what I was thinking was, oh, he posted that he got tested. So thank you, Commissioner, for that. I'm sorry, I went blank. Journey to Empowerment. Journey to Empowerment is a place. Well, it happens every first Friday of the month, and it's put on by Asian American Recovery Services, and usually Lulu and Anthony they work for Asian American Recovery Services, are the ones that facilitate that. So Journey to Empowerment started about 5 or 7, I'd like to say around that time, years ago, where it's a safe space to talk. They started to talk about taboo topics, like, domestic violence and child abuse and suicide and all kinds of things. And so we've hosted a couple of times. Poly by Design has hosted a couple or facilitated a couple of programs, but I love Journey to Empowerment. It really is a safe space. And when they get back, when shelter in place is all done and they're able to facilitate it again or throw Journey to Empowerment again, you should really stop by, check out the Essence of Mana page is where usually the information is, or Asian American Recovery Services page. It's every month, every first Friday of the month, and they provide food and childcare, and it's a really, really good space. And usually it started off really small, and now they have like up to 30 to 40, sometimes 50 people there. And the last time they had heal and paint, where you go and paint and talk about your painting if you want to talk about it. And they just discuss, why do you think you painted this, or if you did. And in June, they're going to have a Zoom session. So June, what every first Friday of the month. What is Friday? June 2nd?
No, it'll be June 6th or 7th.
6th or 7th. The first Friday of June, Journey to Empowerment, June 5th. They'll be having their June Journey to Empowerment, and it'll be done via Zoom. So check them out. They'll post the link, and then of course we'll be reposting their Journey to Empowerment flyer, because they have a flyer every month, and it's a good safe space. Would you like to add to that, Mr. Johnson?
No, I think that ours does a really good job of. Nani Wilson is one of the facilitators. Well, there's facilitators, but then there's Nani, and in the end of it, Nani's running things because she's Nani, and she understands where the program came from, and she's kind of the one that oversees everything there. And I think she's just done a really good job of making a safe space for people to come and talk about taboo topics. There's a lot of tears shed in that room, and they're healthy tears. Right.
So I love that space. I love Journey to Empowerment, because that's where I spoke 5 years ago maybe, and started my journey to healing. So I love that. Love that space. Fa Pisa Aswao, good morning.
Morning,
Thank
Pisa.
you for tuning in. If I can ask you to share. I think we're almost out of here. We're going to go over the ads again. Beluga?
Let's see. Essence of Mana.
Yes.
Is a free 12-week class designed to support adult family members in developing communication skills and real-life tips that can lead to a more loving and nurturing family dynamic. Free for the whole family. Follow Essence of Mana on Facebook for all their updates.
And then Fangongo Samoa is presented by Samoan Solutions, Epi and Fanga, the girls there. A play written by Sia Figuel, produced and adapted by Samoan Solutions, happening July 10th and 11th. Show details will be announced, made possible by the generosity of the San Bruno Community Foundation. Please follow Samoan Solutions on all social media outlets. Voices of Oceania.
Social is a social media live party happening every Saturday of May. Actually, we already covered this.
Yeah. So we are cutting out because, we done. We are done. I'm wearing a hat because my hair is growing. Good news. My hair is growing and it's starting to stick everywhere. So I was looking in the mirror, and I had one piece sticking out yesterday or the other day, and I was trying to pat it down. I was like, oh my God, my hair is growing.
It's a good problem to have.
Good hat day. So I just wanted to thank you for tuning in. Is there anything you want to say before I close this out? All right. Thank you for tuning in to the FICA podcast. Pacifica Talanoa, please email me or the FICA podcast at polybydesign.com. Follow us on all social media outlets. And then tune in every Sunday from 10 a.m. to 12 noon. We so appreciate everything that you do and support us. Thank you, Team Mena, following Amoli.
Thank you, Mena.
Have a great week, and we'll check in with you next Sunday. Come back to FICO with us.
That's it, folks.
That's it.
That's all I got.
Oh, I didn't see Sean Gordon.